What if the story you've been told about wrinkles is incomplete? We've been conditioned to believe that aging skin is simply the result of time, that as the years pass, collagen fades, elasticity weakens, and the face becomes a map of lived experience. But what if I told you that your skin is not just aging, it is responding to signals, nutrients, stressors, and even the choices you make every single day? Because here's the deeper truth emerging from modern science. Collagen is not something we simply lose, it is something we continuously build or fail to build. Researchers in fields like dermal biology and regenerative medicine, including work published in journals such as the Journal of Investigative Dermatology, have shown that fibroblasts, the cells responsible for producing collagen, are highly responsive to their environment. They are listening to inflammation, to nutrition, to oxidative stress, even to sleep. So the question becomes, what are we telling our skin? Hey everyone, and welcome back. If you are passionate about natural health and evidence-based wellness, you found your tribe. For those just joining our health journey, welcome. We are thrilled to have you here as we explore the fascinating intersection of ancient wisdom and modern science. Do not forget to hit that like button if this content resonates with you, and subscribe so you never miss our deep dives into natural health solutions. We would love to know where our amazing community spans. Drop your city or country in the comments below. Now, let us explore something truly fascinating. The idea that one of the most powerful anti-aging interventions may not come from a lab or a luxury cream, but from a simple, homemade approach that supports your body's innate collagen-producing intelligence. Because rejuvenation, when you understand the biology, is not about forcing the body to change, it's about giving it the right conditions to remember what it already knows how to do. And perhaps the most important question we'll explore together is this: what if youthful skin is not something you chase, but something you reawaken? Let's begin by reimagining something you've likely heard your entire life: collagen loss. Because the phrase itself is misleading. Your body is not simply losing collagen in a passive, irreversible way. It is actively remodeling it every single day. In fact, studies in connective tissue biology have shown that collagen turnover is a continuous process. Old fibers are broken down by enzymes called matrix metalloproteinases, while new fibers are synthesized by fibroblasts. So the real question is not, are you losing collagen? The real question is your body rebuilding it faster than it's breaking it down? Think of your skin like a suspension bridge. Collagen fibers are the cables, strong, flexible, and under constant tension. When these cables are well maintained, the bridge holds firm against time, weather, and stress. But when maintenance slows, when repair crews don't have the materials or signals they need, the structure begins to weaken. Not collapse overnight, but subtly, gradually. A loss of tightness, a shift in elasticity, the first appearance of fine lines that seem to come from nowhere. Now here's where it gets fascinating. Research published in Nature Aging and the Journal of Clinical Investigation suggests that fibroblasts, the very cells responsible for producing collagen, don't simply wear out. They become dysregulated. They receive distorted signals from their environment, chronic inflammation, oxidative stress, nutrient deficiencies, even UV exposure. It's as if the construction crew is still present, but the instructions are scrambled. Have you ever noticed how skin seems to age faster during periods of stress, or how after illness, travel, or poor sleep, your face looks different, not permanently, but noticeably? That's not your imagination. That is your collagen architecture responding in real time. And this brings us to a powerful shift in perspective. Your skin is not a static surface. It is a living, responsive organ, constantly interpreting signals from within and around you. So what does this mean for homemade collagen? It means we're not trying to force collagen into the skin from the outside, which biologically is extremely limited. Large collagen molecules in creams simply cannot penetrate deeply enough to rebuild your dermal structure. At best, they hydrate the surface. Instead, we are working with the body's internal intelligence. We are asking, how do we create the conditions where fibroblasts want to produce strong, organized collagen again. And this is where simplicity becomes powerful, because the body doesn't need complexity, it needs clarity, clear signals, consistent inputs, and the right raw materials. One of the most overlooked aspects of collagen architecture is mechanical stimulation. Research in mechanobiology shows that fibroblasts respond to physical forces, tension, movement, even facial expressions. This is why practices like facial massage, resistance training, and even posture can influence skin structure over time. It's not vanity, it's cellular communication. And then there's circulation. Blood flow delivers oxygen and nutrients, the very building blocks of collagen, to your skin. Reduced circulation, which can occur with sedentary habits or chronic stress, essentially slows down the delivery of these materials. Imagine trying to renovate a building without a supply chain. So before we even talk about ingredients, before we discuss what goes into this most powerful homemade collagen, we must understand this foundational truth. Your body is already trying to rebuild your skin. The question is whether you are supporting that effort or unintentionally interfering with it. And perhaps the most empowering realization is this. Aging at the level of your skin is not just a matter of time. It is a reflection of communication between cells, between systems, between your daily choices and your biological future. So let me ask you something to carry into the next section. What signals are you sending your body right now about how it should rebuild you? If collagen is the architecture of your skin, then amino acids are the language it is written in. And like any language, precision matters, because your body does not interpret protein as a vague concept. It responds to specific sequences of amino acids, each one carrying instructions, not just calories. Among these, 3 stand out as central to collagen synthesis: glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline. Now here's something remarkable. Collagen itself is composed of nearly 1/3 glycine. That makes it one of the most glycine-rich structures in the human body. Yet modern diets, even those high in protein, are often deficient in glycine. Why? Because we've shifted away from consuming the whole animal skin, bones, connective tissue, and toward isolated muscle meats, chicken breast, steak, fillets, clean, lean, but incomplete. In evolutionary biology, there's a concept called nose-to-tail nutrition. Our ancestors consumed parts of the animal that were rich in collagen precursors, slow-cooked broths, gelatinous cuts, organ meats. These weren't delicacies, they were survival foods, and they carried something powerful: balance. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition has explored how glycine plays roles not only in collagen production, but also in reducing inflammation, improving sleep quality, and supporting metabolic health. In other words, the very amino acids that build your skin also regulate the systems that protect it. So when we talk about homemade collagen, we're really talking about restoring a missing signal, one that your body recognizes immediately. Let's make this practical. One of the most effective ways to deliver these amino acids is through a simple, time-tested preparation: a slow-simmered bone broth, not as a trend, but as a biological tool. When bones, ligaments, and connective tissues are gently simmered over hours, they release gelatin, a partially broken down form of collagen. This gelatin is rich in glycine and proline, making it highly bioavailable. Think of it as pre-digested information. Your body doesn't have to work as hard to extract meaning from it, it can use it almost immediately. Now, you might be wondering, isn't this just another health fad? A fair question. But here's what distinguishes this from trends. The underlying biology has been studied for decades. For example, research from institutions like the University of Kiel in Germany has shown that collagen peptide supplementation can increase skin elasticity and hydration over time. And while supplements have their place, there's something uniquely powerful about whole food synergy, where amino acids, minerals like zinc and copper, and other cofactors coexist in their natural ratios. So what might a simple homemade collagen protocol look like? It doesn't need to be complicated. A cup of bone broth daily, ideally homemade or from a high-quality source. Slow cooking methods that preserve connective tissue nutrients. Occasional inclusion of gelatin-rich foods like stews or even unflavored gelatin added to warm beverages. Small inputs repeated consistently. Because in biology, consistency is what creates signal strength. Have you ever noticed how certain foods make you feel grounded, restored, almost as if your body recognizes them? That's not nostalgia, that's resonance. And here's where it becomes deeply empowering. You are not introducing something foreign into your body. You are reintroducing something it has always known how to use. If this insight is opening a new way of thinking for you, a shift from surface-level solutions to cellular nourishment, consider subscribing. Because what we're building here is not just knowledge, it's a framework for lifelong vitality. As we move forward, remember this. Collagen is not built from abundance alone. It is built from the right materials delivered at the right time in a form the body can understand. And in the next part, we'll explore what activates this process, the molecular ignition switch that turns these raw materials into living, functional collagen. Because having the ingredients is one thing, but knowing how to use them, that's where transformation begins. Now that we've explored the raw materials, we arrive at a deeper truth. Having the building blocks for collagen is not enough, because in biology, construction requires activation. You can think of amino acids like bricks stacked beside a construction site. Necessary, yes, but inert on their own. What transforms them into living architecture is a set of biochemical reactions that must be precisely triggered. And at the center of this activation process is something deceptively simple. Vitamin C, not as a trend, not as a supplement aisle buzzword, but as a molecular cofactor, an essential participant in the enzymatic reactions that stabilize and strengthen collagen fibers. Without adequate vitamin C, your body literally cannot form proper collagen structure. This was first observed centuries ago in sailors suffering from scurvy, a condition marked by fragile skin, bleeding gums, and impaired wound healing. What they lacked was not protein, but the ability to assemble it correctly. Modern science has since clarified why. Vitamin C acts as a cofactor for enzymes called prolyl and lysyl hydroxylases. These enzymes modify amino acids, specifically proline and lysine, allowing collagen fibers to fold into their stable triple helix structure. Without this step, collagen becomes weak, disorganized, easily degraded. So when we speak about homemade collagen, we are not just talking about consuming collagen-rich foods. We are talking about creating a biochemical environment where collagen can be properly formed and protected. And this is where nature offers something extraordinary, because vitamin C rarely exists alone in whole foods. It comes packaged with polyphenols, powerful plant compounds that act as antioxidants, protecting collagen from breakdown. Think of vitamin C as the ignition key and polyphenols as the shield. Together, they do something remarkable. They not only help you build collagen, they help you preserve it. Research from institutions like King's College London and studies published in Nutrients have shown that diets rich in vitamin C and polyphenols are associated with improved skin elasticity, reduced wrinkling, and enhanced dermal density. But let's bring this down to something tangible. What does this look like in your daily life? It can be surprisingly simple. Adding fresh lemon juice to your bone broth, enhancing both absorption and activation. Including vitamin C-rich foods like citrus fruits, kiwi, bell peppers, or berries alongside protein-rich meals. Consuming polyphenol-rich foods, green tea, dark berries, cacao, which help neutralize oxidative stress. Now pause for a moment and consider this. How often do we separate nutrients in our minds? Protein for muscle, vitamin C for immunity, antioxidants for health. But your body doesn't think in categories, it thinks in synergy. And when these elements come together, amino acids, vitamin C, polyphenols, something elegant begins to happen. Collagen synthesis becomes more efficient, collagen degradation slows down, and the balance begins to shift in your favor. Have you ever noticed how certain meals leave your skin looking more vibrant the next day? Not dramatically, but subtly, a kind of quiet radiance. That is not coincidence. That is your biology responding to alignment. And here's where the deeper message emerges. Rejuvenation is not about intensity, it is about coordination. Small, intelligent combinations repeated over time can reshape the way your body builds itself. If this is resonating with you, if you're beginning to see your daily choices not as restrictions, but as opportunities for regeneration, take a moment to like this video. It helps more people discover a science-based approach to natural health, because what we're uncovering here is not a shortcut, it's a return to biological coherence. And as we move into the next part, we'll confront something that quietly undermines all of this progress, a hidden process that stiffens, damages, and ages your collagen from within. Because sometimes the key to rebuilding is first understanding what's been breaking things down all along. There's a silent process happening inside your body right now, one that very few people talk about, yet it may be one of the most powerful drivers of visible skin aging. It's called glycation. And if collagen is the flexible scaffolding that keeps your skin smooth and resilient, glycation is what slowly turns that scaffolding rigid, brittle, and prematurely aged. Let me explain. Glycation occurs when excess sugar molecules bind to proteins, including collagen, in a non-enzymatic reaction. This leads to the formation of compounds known as advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. Now, the name itself is telling. These are not just byproducts, they are accelerators of aging, because once collagen becomes glycated, it loses its elasticity. It becomes stiff, less functional, and more prone to breaking down. Imagine taking a soft, flexible rope and slowly coating it in a layer of hardened caramel. It may look intact from a distance, but under tension it cracks. Research from institutions like Mount Sinai and studies published in Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences have shown that AGEs accumulate in skin tissue over time, contributing to wrinkles, loss of elasticity, and even discoloration. But here's where this becomes deeply relevant to you. Glycation is not just a function of aging, it is a function of lifestyle. High sugar intake, refined carbohydrates, chronic stress, and even certain cooking methods like high temperature frying or grilling can increase the formation of AGEs in the body. So while you may be adding collagen building nutrients, you could simultaneously be accelerating collagen damage. This is what I call a biological contradiction. And it raises an important question. Are your daily habits supporting your skin's renewal or quietly working against it? Now, here's the empowering part. Glycation is not irreversible in its early stages, and more importantly, it is modifiable. You can influence this process. Let's bring this into a simple, actionable framework. 1, stabilize blood sugar. This is foundational. Rapid spikes in glucose increase glycation reactions. Focus on whole foods, balanced meals with protein, fiber, and healthy fats. 2, rethink how you cook lower temperature methods. Steaming, simmering, slow cooking produce fewer AGEs compared to frying or charring. 3, introduce anti-glycation compounds. Certain nutrients can help counteract glycation. Polyphenols, berries, green tea, spices like turmeric and cinnamon, compounds like carnosine found in certain protein sources. 4, reduce chronic stress. Elevated cortisol can increase blood sugar and oxidative stress, both of which amplify glycation. Even simple practices like breath work or walking can shift this internal chemistry. Now pause and reflect. Have you ever felt like you were doing everything right, eating well, maybe even taking supplements, but still not seeing the changes you expected in your skin? This could be why. Because building collagen is only half the equation. Protecting it is the other half. If this insight is helping you connect the dots in a new way, consider subscribing. Because what we're building here is not just knowledge, it's awareness that can fundamentally change how you approach your health. And here's the deeper perspective I want to leave you with before we move on. Aging is not just the passage of time. It is the accumulation of microscopic decisions. Every meal, every habit, every moment of stress or recovery, they all leave a signature on your biology. And in the next part, we'll explore something even more surprising, a system that lives not in your skin, but deep within your gut, yet has the power to influence how your skin looks, feels, and ages. Because true rejuvenation doesn't begin at the surface. It begins in places most people never think to look. If I told you that the state of your skin is being shaped by trillions of microorganisms living deep inside your body, would you see your reflection differently? Because beneath the surface of your daily experience, there exists an entire ecosystem, your gut microbiome, a dynamic, intelligent community of bacteria, fungi, and other microbes that are not passive passengers but active participants in your biology. And increasingly, research is revealing something extraordinary. Your skin and your gut are in constant communication. This is known as the gut-skin axis. Studies from institutions like Harvard Medical School and Stanford University have shown that imbalances in gut bacteria, what we call dysbiosis, can trigger systemic inflammation, alter immune responses, and even influence conditions like acne, eczema, and premature skin aging. But let's move beyond conditions and into mechanisms, because what's truly fascinating is how this communication happens. Your gut microbiome helps regulate inflammation, one of the primary drivers of collagen breakdown. It also produces metabolites like short-chain fatty acids, which influence immune balance and cellular repair. And perhaps most importantly, it plays a role in nutrient absorption, including the very amino acids, vitamins, and minerals required for collagen synthesis. So even if you're consuming the perfect homemade collagen protocol, if your gut is not functioning optimally, your skin may never fully receive the message. Think of your microbiome as a translator. You can provide the most sophisticated biological language, amino acids, vitamin C, polyphenols, but if the translator is impaired, the message becomes distorted or lost entirely. Have you ever noticed how your skin reacts after periods of digestive imbalance, bloating, irritation, breakouts, dullness? That's not coincidence, that's communication. Let's return for a moment to the question we began with. What if the story you've been told about wrinkles is incomplete? Because now you see what most people never do. You see that your skin is not simply aging, it is adapting, responding, interpreting signals from everything you do, everything you eat, everything you think, and even how you rest. What we've uncovered together is not a product, not a single remedy, but a biological system of renewal.